Hello, my fellow hunters. It's been years since the beta finished, and all we have known since in these long months is sadness, misery, the agony of time passing so slowly. Okay, it's been like a week, but still, okay, it's what it feels like. Anyway, now that this chapter of First Hunt is closed, I think we can all agree, well, it's time to look forward to next chapter of Hunt. But within that, there is a question. When will be next chapter of Hunt? What will be next chapter of Hunt? Why do I keep saying chapter of Hunt like chapter of Hunt is an established phrase we all use and know what it means? The main answer then is easily, well, when the game comes out next February, obviously. Okay, cool, thanks for that, like and subscribe, I'll see you later. Yeah, but I don't believe that will be the case, and I imagine a lot of you guys agree with that sentiment because I think it is more likely than not that we get at least one more beta/demo, however it's presented, before the full release of the game. And the reason I think that is a fewfold and a big part of what I want to talk about today. But before we get into that, I think the question of when is a bigger one because, well, outside of being able to play again before the release in a potential second demo, we still need lots more reveals, presumably. Now, don't get me wrong, on a personal level, I would be happy if we saw nothing else and everything left was a complete surprise, but that's not how it's going to be, that's not how Monster Hunter do. And the devs said that they want to keep this pace of reveals going, I mean, all the way. But we've kind of run out of events now. We've had a lot back-to-back that started with Gamescom and then just kind of never stopped. But we're now in the part of the year where there's really only one left. That being, of course, the Game Awards in December, which will mark exactly a year since Wilds first got revealed, which is absolute lunacy. So with that in mind, I'm going to make a hugely bold, brave prediction in that we'll get something Wildsy at, yes, the Game Awards. But, like, I realize I'm not going to win any points for incredible foresight there. The bigger musing, though, is what? Yes, another trailer, of course, and perhaps a trailer that ends with another little announcement of another demo period coming up, but I don't think that that would just be slapped onto the end of a trailer. We got the first demo period announced in a dedicated, just kind of random, almost, Capcom presentation that was hosted across their various channels, and then that was all good. It wasn't tied to an event, and I think that's the most likely way it'll happen again. So when it comes to the Game Awards, I do just think we will get another trailer. Something big, revealy, showy, flashy, because this is the big time that the world is looking before the game comes a-knocking. And to me, the big one that's left is, well, some actual arkveld gameplay, some proper flagship huntery, even if it's only little clips flashing by in a trailer. Actual Elder Dragon kind of confirmation, even if it's only in a little teasy format, some big name returning monsters, and then another map. And it's actually that other map that I think is most interesting to think about. The chief reason being is that the maps are clearly following a theme. We have the Windward Plains, the Thunder map headed up by the Thunder Apex Ray Dow, having thunder as its big weather deal. We have the Scarlet Forest with its Water Apex Duna, with the Downpour Water its big deal weather. It's the water map. And yes, we now know the Oil Well Basin, which is, yes, the Fire map headed by the Fire Apex, the Black Flame, and the Big Burn Forge Come On is the big deal weather on that map. So I think that we can all safely assume, and even if that theme wasn't present, is Monster Hunter, we're gonna get a snowy, icy cold map. Now, it might not be literally as basically straightforward as big plain covered in snow. They've been very much more creative with the previous locales, so I'm expecting that to continue, but I do think we're certainly in store for at least, at minimum, a 4th locale, cold in nature and headed up by an icy apex. Maybe even the one belonging to the purpley crab-esque still mystery armor on the initial Switch X trailer, as we know that that is a cold weapon, so that kind of makes sense. That's exciting. So that, to me, is what's going to be in the next trailer. A cold apex, a cold map, a hint at Elder Dragon, and a few big-name returning monsters. That feels like the kind of slam dunk to go for, and the Game Awards is the place for it to be. But then we do return to that, well, second demo, second beta test question. And the reasons that I think that this is almost a certainty is that a precedent is there. In Worlds run-up, there was multiple opportunities to give it a play, and indeed, some of the earliest Pro and Noobs, before it was even technically Pro and Noobs, was the Nergigante hunt in the Wildspire Waste in the world demo, which is quite the blast from the past. So it certainly has been known to happen, especially with these big deal generation defining entries into the series. The other is that we generally always get a pop at the flagship in a demo. Normally it's quite a brutally hard challenge relative to what you have to go against it with, but that's kind of a tradition. This one is definitely less of a nailed-on thing because there's no reason that needs to happen, and honestly I'd kind of rather it didn't, because again I'd rather face Arkveld for the first time in proper sequence in the game through the story, but if the past is any indication, an Arkveld hunt may be in our future when it comes to it. I can also totally see a world in which they want to let us loose on something like the Scarlet Forest, or at least another locale, to give us a little bit more time to give them data on how everything's running. And that part is probably the single biggest reason for potentially a second go at this, because they will want to both A, get even more data on performance across various hardware to get it as good as it can be for launch, and B, after how this beta has gone with the issues some people have had, and we have talked about them at length, there is certainly some teething issues still to work out. They will want to prove that they are worked out. If we get a second beta, let's say towards the end of December or start of January, and then, oh wow, yeah, everything's running flawlessly, it's just perfect, huge improvement, suddenly massive amounts of faith is re-injected into Wilds in that regard, and everything is back on. Like, they're not silly, of course. At Capcom, they will want to show that, yeah, they are working hard. They have said the current version of the game that they have, which is way ahead of the beta we played, is looking very smooth performance-wise. So it's only a win-win to then show that with a more up-to-date beta closer to the release. Everyone gains a lot out of that. So I think it just makes too much sense on a lot of levels. And just from the pure perspective of, hey, we need to keep excitement going, keep the fire stoked. That only happens with more things being shown, with more events, with more big spotlights put on the game. And with the Game Awards the only external one to do that, that's not exactly enough in 4 months worth of waiting. So undoubtedly there will be more Capcom-specific actual streams and programs and presentations to do with Wilds as we head towards launch, and they will naturally reveal more. One thing of which I am very much thinking will happen, as I've been saying, is another go at beta. And it's not just going to be the same version, but updated, as that would be a little bit anticlimactic. It might be what we've already played, plus an extra monster or so, but I definitely think there will be differences. And of course there is all of the ridiculous amount of feedback that they now have from all of the surveys that we all should have filled out from the initial beta, and implementing changes based on that and then showing us is only a healthy thing for the game and the positive mentality towards it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Timing-wise, that one is trickier, because if it's just going to be one more beta, you probably want sort of early January, late December. But if you're going to have a couple, maybe there's more than one, that's not unprecedented, then maybe early December, early February might be more applicable. Kind of get excitement. If they do sync it up with a new trailer at the Game Awards, it doesn't need to be announced there, but it could go live the closest weekend, for example, and then really feed in to that hype. That's not a bad play. In any case, though, I certainly think there is a lot more to come for Wilds before it actually releases, more than we might think from just looking at the schedule from now to the end of February. And for me, I think one of the most exciting things is simply what returning monsters we're actually going to get. There is a lot of potential big names that they can bring into Modern Monster Hunter, make look gorgeous in the 6th gen in Wilds, and I hope they are selected well. I really, really do. Congalala, Yian, etc. are really fun options, but we want some kind of big boys, you know, like your Legiocrist or your Ignactor or something along those lines. I'd love a Cantor or Eucanlos. Hell, I'd even take like Gravios. We've had Basarios in Rise and Sunbreak, but no Gravios, and Gravios I kind of have a soft spot for. He is mammoth in size relative to his actual rank in the ecosystem, and I think kind of Rocky Magma Boy could be really fun swimming around in like the Oil Swell Basin, but he's also not that popular, so I doubt that would happen. In any case, I am very much looking forward to properly sitting down and busting out some theory fun when it comes to what we'll see. For now though, that's my predictions for what and when it comes to more wild stuff going forward. Let me know what you guys are thinking. For now though, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.